Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be build update number 2 on my Axial Yeti Rock Racer kit version. Now, I am going to be speeding through this kit version and getting it built kind of as quickly as possible, and excuse me today if I'm maybe coughing or actually sucking on a cough drop right now to prevent me from coughing, but feeling a little bit under the weather, but wanted to get this update out to you guys so I can go ahead and install some of these new parts without leaving you guys in the dust. So my whole goal with the kit version, now that I have the RTR under my belt and I've kind of seen how it runs and maybe some of the things I'd like to kind of work on, well, the kit version includes lots of needed upgrades, but I'm going to go ahead and add just a few items to make it even a little bit better. So just things that I've noticed on the RTR that I really like, or things I think personally that the Yeti needs to just make it a little bit more durable. So I went over to my friends over at hotracing.com to pick up some things that I've already incorporated in the RTR build. So the first thing here is, of course, their great motor mount. I'm going to have links of these things in the video description, so put the pen and paper down. I got you covered here. So pretty much all aluminum motor mount. Works great. I have this in the RTR version and no issues whatsoever with this, especially when I'm going to be bolting up some serious power from that KIT system. Now this is the motor plate, once again aluminum, has kind of these little items on here too. I'm not sure exactly what they do, but anyways, it looks good and it is aluminum, so a little bit more beefier mounting that Pro 4 HD motor up to it. So next thing here, of course, a steel spur gear. I use this same one in my RTR version. It just makes sense to put a steel spur on there. Just have heard some issues with the plastic, especially with the power I'm going to be putting on it. So with that, I did pick up a absolute steel pinion from Robinson Racing. This is an 11 tooth, or actually a 12 tooth, I'm sorry. And this thing is going to be great on my 4S system I plan to put in this Yeti kit. So the last thing here from Hot Racing is going to be this shock tower. I just noticed lots of movement on the front end, and I just like to have a very secure point to mount the shocks to. So that's what I got going on here. This thing should bolt up pretty nice. This is my first Hot Racing shock tower, so we'll kind of report back on this a little bit later. Well, with the build, I've kind of skipped around a little bit because I was waiting for some of these parts to come in, and I didn't want to stop kind of midway and kind of, pause everything. So I already built up the cage. I've done most of all the work on it. Got the transmission, the transfer case ready to take some of the Hot Racing items. Already built up the shocks, and I wanted to show you guys these things. These are the officially licensed Icon shocks, which really have no difference between these and the stock RTR ones, besides the little logo, the color of the actual shock body. Both are aluminum. But this one does incorporate machined plastic pistons inside, which are fairly nice, and there's no need to cut off the little burrs from the tree. They're actually machined, so very nice item, and these went together pretty well. I plan to run the stock shocks. However, if you do compare the stock to the front ones I'm running on the RTR version, here's a little size comparison between the Pro line and the stock Axial kit shock. So a little bit bigger bore shock, and in my opinion, these are just a little bit smoother. But I want to run the stock ones and see where I can go from there. So as far as some of the other things, I've already shown the electronics I'm going to be running, but just wanted to refresh you guys. I have the Pro 4 HD motor from KIT. This is the 2500 kV version, and I do plan to run this on 4S. So there's going to be some serious torque, fairly good speed on this thing with the chosen pinion, but we're going to kind of go from there on this. As far as ESC, it just made sense to drop in another RX-8 Gen 2. Tried and proven, very tunable, and it just will work great in this Axial Yeti. Lastly, just some of the supplement items. You'll notice the cage is already built up. I plan to go ahead and put the RTR body on it. I'm going to keep the clear kit version body for not another project, but maybe another body scheme. But I did pick this thing up from freakyskins.com, and this is one of their custom designed sticker sheets that kind of go onto the stock body to kind of make it my own. So kind of went with the P41, I believe it's called, design, and it just looks really cool. Neil was able to incorporate my RCN logo on the side there where the normal star would go for the U.S. Air Force. So I really dug this thing, and I can't wait to kind of get this thing on there. I'm going to have a separate video on how I install this onto that stock body, so stay tuned for that. As far as the interior, I do not plan to run an interior on this rig. This is going to be a bare bones kind of bash it rig, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that down the line. But I really enjoy building this kit up. I really like some of the upgrades that Axial has included right out of the box. You can kind of see, of course, the anodized aluminum links up here in the front. You have the anodized aluminum plates that mount to the stock trailing arms, and they just added some cool things to really make this thing a little bit better. Of course, the HD bevel gears, both front and rear, front CVDs. It just made sense. So a little less for me to upgrade at this point. So I'm going to get building. I got lots of work to do, and hopefully there's only going to be one more update, and that's going to be the final product. So don't want to kind of drag this one on. Want to get this thing built and running for you guys. So, well, that's it, guys. If you have any questions about this build, feel free to post it on down below. I'm going to have lots of information in the video description, including a link over to my Facebook page where I have lots of detailed photos, including the explosion of the shock oil when I was filling up these front shocks. The 30 weight exploded on me, very similar to what happened to Josh over at Harley Design. So pretty funny, but ended up kind of ruining my workstation here and had to clean it all up. So, but anyways, guys, comments, questions on down below, and as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.